Hey everybody, welcome back for another Make It Monday from Papertrey Inc. This is Betsy Veldman, and today I'm going to be showing you how to use a partial die cutting technique to create a tabbed enclosure trifold card. So the first thing you need to do is you need to decide on a die to use for the tab closure portion of the trifold card. I'm using Mat Stack 6 die, and I have the center of my card base marked here. I am starting off with actually a 5.5 by 11-inch strip of cardstock, which will give us a regular A2 sized card when we are finished. So what I'm going to do is I have the center of my one of my 5.5-inch edges marked, and I'm going to line up my Mat Stack 6 die with that mark so that it's nice and centered and straight, and then go ahead and secure that with a post-it note. And I'm going to position my cutting plates on my die cutting machine so that only that top rounded portion is going to actually cut. So it will act as a tab closure, like I said. Okay, so you can see here I'll position my cutting plates right about there. Okay, and then when I run it through my machine, the only part that's going to cut is this part. Okay, so I'm back and I ran that through my machine, and you can see now, just like we wanted, just that top part that we can use for a tab cut. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a ruler and an X-Acto knife, and I'm going to trim away this cardstock on both sides of that die cut tab. You could do this with your paper trimmer too if that works better for you. Just make sure you get it nice and straight. Okay, so there we have the part that's going to act as our tab. And then I'm going to go ahead and round these corners. The ends of that piece as well. Okay. And then I'm going to take my scoring tool, and I'm going to score this into a trifold card base. I'm going to start by putting the non-die cut end up along the edge of my scoring my scoring board, and I'm going to score at 3 inches, and then again 4¼ inches further, so at 7¼ and that is going to give us a standard A2 card base. And then we can go ahead and fold on our score lines, and then we will be cutting a slit that this tab will slip into. But before I do that, I'm going to add some pattern paper. So I have some panels of pattern paper that are already trimmed to fit the flaps of my trifold card, and I'm going to go ahead and adhere those. This one is going, I already have my corners rounded as well, and this one is going on that bottom flap. And I have another one the same size that will go on the inside of that same flap. And then I have one that will go on the top flap, inside of the top flap. Okay, so then that makes for a nice area for stamping a sentiment or whatever else you might want to do. You could even add a photo in there. So we have one more step in the basic assembly, and that is to cut the slit for our little tab to tuck in. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my ruler and a pencil, and I'm going to make myself some guidelines. Position it so that just a bit of that tip of that tab is beyond where we are going to cut the slit. Okay. And then I can go ahead and take my X-Acto knife . and just make that cut. Okay. Check here if that's good. And the tab just tucks right in there. Okay, then we can go ahead and we can do some stamping and some embellishing. I'm going to take the coordinating frame stamp from the matte stack 6 stamp set, and I am going to stamp that on the front and line it up with that die cut tab. Okay, and then I'm going to add a sentiment across the front of there as well. This is just a Merry Christmas from the Snow Globe sentiment set. And then I can embellish that with some die cuts this is from the Tinsel and Tags kit. I'm going to add this stamped bow and then just some leaves and flowers as well. I'm also going to add a little bit of a pattern paper detail across the front along that bottom edge there of the flap. And finish that off. That right there. Okay, and then on the inside I'm going to add a sentiment. This is the perfect spot to add a sentiment. I have a nice one here from the Season's Greetings set. You could also add a photo to the inside of the trifold card. That would be a perfect spot for a photo. Could also tuck a gift card inside, whatever you would like. And I'm going to add a couple of stamped leaves. Also, these are again from the Tinsel and Tags kit. Stamp a flower. And then some little berries yet. And then that should do it. Fold it up and you are good to go. Well, thanks for joining me for this week's Make It Monday. I hope you have a chance to play along and enter a project on Nicole's blog to the In Links list. This has been Betsy Veldman for Papertrey Inc.